like. We will discuss that later. So today I would like to share one news. You can see the date just occurred 2 days ago. So you remember that every week I would like to grab the latest news to share with you. And this time we will talk about Formosa is one famous, maybe the largest plastic factory in Taiwan. Also they have built up their factory in the other country. We mentioned it's a global supply chain operation, and we also talk about globalization. And a few weeks ago we talked about why we need to do the offshore operation or even do the outsourcing. The main reason you talk to me the offshore mainly because of the labor cost is lower. The land cost or the other infrastructure cost is very cheap, rather cheaper than the original country. So that's why they decide to move outside. But this time I would like to share the case with you. So I start to tell you what happened in Taiwan a few years ago. People doesn't like this factory to stay in Taiwan. So then they moved to the Vietnam. And then Vietnam have some argument with them. So another news I will share with you. So, and then today, they moved to the United States in Texas. And again, someone doesn't like them and say they are pollution and highly polluted, so they pay money back to Texas. So today later I will try to ask you, after reading those three news, how do you think? How could they go? They move outside from Taiwan to Vietnam and to the United States. Where should be the next step?
China.
I don't know. Later on. So today I prepare one serious news. You will see from I think the first one should be okay. 3 years ago, they escaped from Taiwan and moved to Vietnam, and then 2 days ago in Texas, still you argue blood. Looks terrible, but let's finish the slides we left on last week, okay? The first hour. Let me finish my slides because I don't like to keep so many slides with me. Okay. When we talk about supply chain, how weakness of that, how to calculate the supply chain weakness or we call it vulnerability. Mainly it is possible. Maybe you can try to estimate some kind of the probability. What kind of probability? They might be disrupted or they might be affected. So for example, say when one company try to find out during their delivery, which part might be occur some problem. So they try to give them the probability. And maybe they call it reliability. So reliability 0.9 means the error probability maybe 10% because it's vice versa, totally is 1. So one company, they try to look for their host. You can try to fill up this figure so you can see all your process. You can identify all your process and try to draw this, we call it network viewpoints, and try to look for every operation, every process. What kind of reliability of that? So maybe reliability is just 0.5, means somewhat terrible. Maybe they have 50% to have something wrong. Maybe the traffic delay always occur. So you can try to learn. And you will see how we calculate the network reliability. We use this formula. So if only 2, maybe just use the 1 minus, and parentheses 1 minus r squared, only 2. But if they have more, for example, n process in the same array, we just put a power of n. This is one kind of shape, and so for example, I just quickly let you know. So if only 2, they just 0.9 times 0.9, even lower. So we will see what happened. Here is the reliability 90%. This is also 90%. But both of them, if one occurs something wrong, they may disrupt the whole supply chain operation. So in this case, it may be even lower. No, this case should be fine because maybe they can bypass another one. But if they link it together like this way, maybe something wrong. For example, 0.9, 0.9 totally become 0.81. So they have this kind of reliability. My question will be very simple. How about the reliability of this one? But anyway, you got one blank paper, right? You write down your student name, student ID, and today I would like to write down lots of things. But it's not an exam again. It's kind of like let's do something. Because I think like every time when I say a lot, even out of it by lot, maybe you will feel a little bit boring. So let's do something. A little bit math. You can try. You need to go back to previous formula. Maybe you will. Okay, let me see. You know what, like the very simple, like the if this kind of array, the formula will be like the something like that. I just want you to know how to calculate the reliability for the network viewpoint. So the formula is somewhat easy. For this shape, maybe we just use the power of n. If you have like the lots of r. But if like they look like this way, we just use r with power of n. Okay, so two of them. All right, so my question will be very simple. Just like to do something to try. How about this one? How about reliability of these network viewpoints? So anyway, find out one paper, write down your student name and ID. And if you don't know how to calculate, you say, fine, I'm not good at it. Good at math or something like that. That keeps it doesn't matter. It's fine. I just want you to quickly to know what difference between reliability. So you can try to, you can calculate one more, okay. You can try to calculate by your own self, but if you don't know how to calculate, just fine. I will tell you the answer later, but just let you try. Okay? You can try. And you can use your, calculator. During the midterm exam, maybe I will give you another differential, different network configuration. Let's just see what kind of reliability they might have. So how to deal with that? Maybe you can deal with A and B first, then do A and B with C together. So that's the whole procedure. Then that's why usually we try to evaluate how weakness of one supply chain network. Certainly, in the real world, it's not that easy because you may have lots of companies joining to your supply chain network. You have lots of suppliers, you have lots of the customer. Then you will try to evaluate who is most reliable and trustable. Okay, I give you 3 minutes to try. And you have one paper and try to write down your name and student ID. Because later I have another question to ask you. Just 3 minutes, we just try. Try to calculate something. This kind of practice, because we don't have homework. But during the exam, maybe if I suddenly give you this kind of problem, maybe it will really become a problem. So I just want you to practice first. And you can feel free to discuss. It's not the exam. It's not homework. It's kind of just let you do something. Do some practice. Okay. One more minute. That's the answer. And you can check my answer with your answer to see if it consists. And so far I received the 5 students to give me their paper, their midterm journal paper presentation. if you still have something problem to find out the suitable paper, you can feel free to contact, not me, contact Joanne first. Just kidding. I mean, you can either ask Joanne or other students to see who is more familiar with our e-library system and database, because some of you may not so familiar with that. I just want you to get used with our library, although it's not very powerful e-library system, but at least they can provide some fundamental journal for you. And then during the summer, most of you will try to write down your master's thesis. Maybe you need like some more like a paper solution. Alright, so I guess most of you have already got an answer. Let's check what happened right now. So ideally, we just use the 0.95 multiplied by 0.95 get the first answer. The key question is, what else we need to do with that? Because this formula just tell you like the 1 minus r with power to all. Okay? So, but apparently, the upper and the lower number should be quite different. How to deal with that? Any idea? Yeah, times like 1 minus r1 multiplied by 1 minus r2. So it looks like maybe like this way. So let's use it the other way. Okay. And in probability, totally is 1. So sometimes we calculate reliability, sometimes we use the other way. So we use the other way because like the reliability of the upper level is, we multiply by these two, 1 minus this will be equal to this number. And this is another failure probability. So use the failure to multiply. It's interesting, but you can go back and check. I mean, use a reverse way because totally, in statistics, probability always equal to 1. So you can calculate the cumulative reliability, or you can calculate the cumulative failure probability. Either way should be fine. But interesting is, answer should be the same. But if you have something different answers, we can discuss that later. Okay? Hopefully you are fine with that. But we can, yeah, you can, if you have other answers, maybe you can discuss it. Please.
Yeah, you said in the second exchange state, there's some multiplication that is done from 0 to find 0.00975.
Yes.
No, 0.0975.
Yes. I mean, let's try. Okay, let's try. Then how to get this 0.1? Because it's 1 minus 0.9, right? 1 minus 0.9.
Yeah.
And the upper level is like the 0.95 multiplied by 0.95 equal to this number.
Yeah.
1 minus this will be equal to this. They use like the 1 minus r1 multiplied by 1 minus r2. And they use 1 minus all this multiplier. Okay? So that's why I mentioned like in this case, we need to rewrite this form. Like maybe I can write down like this way. Should be much better. But the same, actually the same. In statistics, probability always equal to 1. So you can have the directly moving way or reversely go the other way. It's very useful, especially when we talk about the cumulative density function, CDF. We have but this is not statistics. Just that you keep in your mind. If you haven't learned a statistics, maybe I think Professor Chi will teach you some courses, right? Supposedly. Okay, so hopefully it's fine with you. If you still have problem, maybe we can discuss during the break time. Alright, so how to make the supply chain become much more reliable. We listed several possible strategies, very easy going one. Number one, just increasing your safety stock, right? Certainly you will increase your inventory management costs, but definitely your supply chain will become much more stronger. Okay, second one, increasing spare capacity, similar idea. The first one is like keeping more safety stock, second one is keeping your capacity, no matter in transportation or in terms of production line. So you can write down lots of it. You can go back and read. Okay. Number three, we call them become more agility. How to make that? Number one strategy is shorten lead time. But yesterday I discussed lots of how to shorten, reduce the lead time. I don't want to repeat again. But just let you have something in your mind. Yesterday, students in my classroom, they provide at least 3 to 4 very good strategies. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Henry, for example, and Michael also. You can discuss with that. There are lots of ways you can reduce the lead time. I remember one interesting thing is maybe you can tell your partner, like if they place their order somewhat delayed, maybe they will increase the lead time. So maybe try to encourage them to place their order somehow earlier, or try to use pricing strategy like the early bird price to encourage them to place their order somehow earlier, or change your transportation method. We talked about lots of strategy like yesterday, but shorten lead time is one better goal to push. Postponement we talked like maybe very earlier. So try to customize your product at the end. Don't customize at the very early beginning, because you will make your material become very diversity and very difficult to control. Sometimes try your best to do the standardized materials if possible. Why we need to do so? Because if standardize lots of things, you can easy to manage and control. Although eventually some people will try to pursue a customize, but if you can standardize a lot of things and also standardize the operations, so you can with a very, we call a standard operation procedures, and you can easy to operate with that. What else we could do? Rapid rescheduling during operation. Why we need to do so? Sometimes you have your original schedule, runs very well, but still something might go wrong. So how to quickly readjust your original schedule and get back things in a timely manner is very important. What else you could do? Moving operations between different locations. However, today the news we share today, we want to discuss with you. It's not that easy. I want to move to other location. I want to move to other countries. We talk about the United States versus mainland China during the trade war. You can easily find like lots of factory doesn't want to move outside the mainland China. It's not that easy. Not just for the money, not just for the land, not just you have to cope with the language, the culture, the international barrier, also the government rule and regulation, environmental regulation. So today we talk about that. So it's not that easy to moving operations between different locations. And sometimes you can try to bring the new technology. I will show you another technology. Last time we showed you the Amazon Go. I show you like the Alibaba. They try to do something with the more online offline supermarket operations. And today I will try to introduce more. And flexible suppliers is possible, but sometimes it's very difficult because some supplier is kind of monopoly around the world. So maybe you may not be able to always feel free to choose to change. It depends. So one thing you could do, and always very important is collaboration. Always do a collaboration with your partner within the whole supply chain. And you can do whatever collaboration you want. And try to reveal more information with your partners if possible. We talk about the bullwhip effect in the whole supply chain, mainly caused by the invisible information. Retailer try to hidden their true information, then distributor will report like more inflated like demand for the more upstream, and then eventually reach to we call the bullwhip effect. And this case, if the information flow is very good, should be fine. Alright, so that's how we talk. If possible, you can try to increase your visibility. They have lots of benefits. I just listed 1 or 2 here, but you can go back and check not just with lab. It's just always provide lots of things. So I try to set several steps to share information, but I just want to remind you like in the reality, it's very difficult to share information. Why? Would you like to share information with your supply chain supplier or your supply chain partner? Why not? We talk about a contract in the supply chain management courses. Lots of contract will try to grab more information, so you don't want to lose your business secret with your partner. You don't want to let them know your truly profit and revenue and cost terms, because you want to keep your personal private business to get more profit. But if they know the details, maybe they will give you other solutions. So I mean although I list several steps to do so, we call it share information, but in practice it's very difficult. No one wants to share information to everyone. So I would say you can skip these 2 slides. Just kidding. You can see how to do, but that's it. So how to evaluate the vulnerability? We talked to the reliability, how to calculate, but we back to the more fundamental. How to calculate the reliability? How will you think? So 5.9, 5.95, 5.5. How to evaluate that? Any idea? Number 1, some of you may say, let's go back to the historical data to see the past few years, how this company or how this process does something wrong, how frequent we will, and we try our best to calculate probability. What else we could do if we don't have any historical data? How will you do? Randomly guess? Definitely not. So key point is we know evaluation of a risk is very important. How to evaluate that? Any idea? No? Okay, let's talk about the first one. We call it mission-oriented approach. So for the mission-oriented approach, we try to see how many missions we can separate in the whole supply chain, and try to see which mission is most important. And first of all, we will try our best to draw this figure. What's the meaning of that? Horizontal is the time, and the vertical means the whole system performance. So you will see every tiny the events. What kind of impact they occur? For example, you can try to see maybe this is 100%. And after some disruption, you can see how they recover with that. So you can draw this figure. Maybe during some disruption, they will a little bit delay, and the worst case, even they will be totally shut down. So for example, if they lack of the raw materials, the whole production line supposedly should be shut down. So maybe they will down to 0. So you can, first of all, we can try our best to draw this figure. And how to evaluate the score of that? You can see for example, if you are a factory, your whole production line, every day, supposedly you can produce 10,000 units of the goods or cargoes or items. And then if they just down to for example, 8,000, which means 80%. You can use a different way, but try your best to draw this figure to evaluate your current situation and upcoming strategy. So number 1, people tend to like to draw this figure. Certainly more people will try to, let me show you, some literature try to draw more even detail and more but still the same idea. We call this kind of the resilience triangle. Resilience means how long they can get back to the original case. And this triangle, although it's not truly triangle, but we try to say this is resilience triangle, you can read this paper. This is professors from the MIT, United States. And in the first one to, maybe first or second one, I forgot, because another one in 2003 also mentioned a similar idea. They try to see how to observe and evaluate the whole disaster disruptions, how they run. What else we could do? So I just quickly jump to here. Okay, 3 questions. Maybe you can see what can go wrong, how likely is it to happen, and what are the consequences. So usually you can ask yourself these 3 questions and see which kind of event, and then draw the figure we gave you before, and try to evaluate how weakness of that, how long. So the previous figure not just talk about the impact, we also talk about the duration. You have to know like the average event. Sometimes they just give you like the impact for few hours. Sometimes they need few days. And sometimes for the post strike, maybe they extend to like the 6 months. So you have to determine which different event, different solution. So you can draw this kind of figure. And some people like to draw the flow chart like your master thesis. So step 1, what kind of thing I could do, and keep doing step 2. Sometimes I have something wrong, I could go back to check everything, do a second round. Something like that. And some people like to use this figure diagram. How many of you know this figure? We call it fishbone. Okay, fishbone is very more qualitative. It's not like quantitative, but based on the fishbone, you can keep drawing the figure based on each one. Okay, so what's the meaning of fishbone? This means like the whole accident or event. And then you try to list it all possible to result in this kind of accident or event. So for example, this kind of event should be like, I think it's calculated, let me check again. Okay, they don't write down the detail, but you can see what kind of, but for example, human factor, we always find kind of like a very highly percent to affect the whole supply chain operations. I will give you another example in the real case. And sometimes like you may have to, you're facing the legal factors, you're facing lots of things, and then environmental, we will talk about later on next hours, you will see. So just try to draw this. Sometimes it's even difficult, more difficult one. So maybe you can try to do your scenario. You can try to recall what happened in the past few years and try to describe every event. Use a scenario analysis. Try to see if you can estimate the likelihood, or we call it probability, and the consequence of that. And what kind of resource you can try to reduce the impact of that. Okay. Try your best to do the more systematical way to analysis this kind of event. Some people will even make it more easier. Try to draw a very simple figure. So maybe the most right hand side will be more serious, most left hand side should be easy. Something like that. And mainly 2 things. You can see most of the risk management strategy mainly doing these 2 things. Number 1 is try to reduce the likelihood. Number 2 is try to reduce the consequence. 2 of them. Only 2 of them, not more. Let me give you, okay, let's skip this one. I would like to give you, it's a Chinese, but I would like to tell you what happened in Taiwan. In Taiwan, the 4 companies, they try to list it in this like their global supply chain risk. They satisfy, and they try to separate with 2 groups. And left hand side means a disaster. Sorry, I have no time to translate everything, but I can translate by my hand right now. This is a whole disaster, natural disaster. So they list it here from the typhoon, volcano eruption, flood, lots of things, even to a tsunami. But most right hand side means a whole man-made disaster. So maybe fire, maybe the electricity outage, maybe bankruptcy, or strike, or like lack of labor. They have a capacity limitation, they have a transportation accidents, and some equipment out of order, even for the yield quality management. So we do the quality management, want to make sure we have a good enough like the cargoes when they deliver outside. But the final term is most important. Human factor. What kind of human factor? Some people will maybe doesn't like to fill out a report like the incorrect way. Sometimes they just randomly fill out some number, or all this will cause some risk. How to deal with that? Let me back to the final pages. I have lots of pages, but all in Chinese, so just want to see. Well, this is a flow chart the Ford in Taiwan dealing with the whole global supply chain risk. Number one, if something happened, they try to survey this kind of risk. And then they try to find out who should be responsible for this kind of event. And then they try to identify which country, which factory, and which kind of type of cars or which part has been affected by this event. And then the procurement team try to every day update how they're dealing with this kind of like the response to this disaster or disruptions. And eventually they try to find out the alternative resourcing. And not just for that, they have to do some certification. Why we need to do a certification? They want to make sure this kind of like the alternative, like new sourcing can provide the reliable and suitable part for them. So that's why the whole Ford, the automobile company in Taiwan, they have this kind of risk management whole process. It's kind of another flow chart. Okay. All right, so I finished my slides on last week. Any questions or comments? Hopefully not. And if you still have questions, I jump lots of slides again. And my midterm exam will grab information based on these slides. So if you go back home to read, you found why I totally get confused with these slides. Feel free to go back with me, okay? We have like the, I don't know, we're supposed to have the midterm exam right after our midterm presentation, right? So I guess November 15th, okay? So November 8th, we're supposed to have a paper presentation. November 1st, we have no class, but if you want, I can stay here to talk with you if you want. November 8th, like just to remind again, because so far I only received like 5 students, we're supposed to have more than 20 students in this classroom. So try your best to look for the suitable like the international journal. If you still have a problem to do so, maybe you can try to contact some of my students. They will help you. But try your best to start somehow earlier, okay? And don't pick up like I just saw like one student give me like 50 pages last night. I told him like don't do so, switch to another one because you have a very limited time. Okay, and I have already told you how to prepare that, but only everyone have 10 to 12 minutes. Please no more with that because like we have so many students. I do a simply mathematical calculation. We need around probably like 5 to 6 hours. So don't spend too much time. No, everyone can please.
Professor, can you put it down on e-learning that which papers are already taken? Because you know,
So far,
what if
no,
we have
okay.
same paper and then
Oh, okay. I will try. I can do so this afternoon if I can have time. But I mean,